From Disney's Fantasia to Jurassic World, we've watched T-Rex battle countless dinosaurs on screen. But how many of those fights were even possible? And was T-Rex always the winner? Let's find out. T-Rex versus Stegosaurus. One of the earliest cinematic dinosaur battles appeared in Disney's Fantasia. Breathtaking, epic, and tragic, but it could never have happened. Stegosaurus roamed the Earth during the late Jurassic, roughly 155 to 150 million years ago. T-Rex didn't appear until the late Cretaceous, around 68 to 66 million years ago. But what if they had lived in the same era? It would not have been an easy meal. Stegosaurus weighed up to 5 tons and carried one of nature's deadliest tail weapons, 4 bone-piercing spikes known as the thagomizer. Fossil evidence confirms they could puncture bone. At least one Allosaurus has been found with thagomizer wounds in its vertebrae. One well-placed strike to T-Rex's leg or underbelly could have been fatal. Like all smart predators, T-Rex would likely have looked for easier prey, unless it had no choice. Disney's battle? Plausible in spirit, just 80 million years too late. Verdict: T-Rex would think twice. T-Rex versus Apatosaurus. Few movie scenes hit harder than Littlefoot's mother sacrificing herself to save her child from a relentless T-Rex. But like the Fantasia battle before it, this fight could never have happened. Also, Apatosaurus was a late Jurassic sauropod. The gap between them is nearly 80 million years, the same unbridgeable divide we saw with Stegosaurus. But what if they had lived in the same era? It would have been a mismatch of scale. Apatosaurus weighed up to 25 tons, roughly 4 times a T-Rex. Its sheer size was its best defense. A single powerful sweep of that long, whip-like tail could have sent T-Rex flying. Targeting a healthy adult would have been suicidal. T-Rex would almost certainly have looked elsewhere. Verdict: David versus Goliath. And T-Rex is David. T-Rex versus Triceratops. For decades, this was the ultimate dinosaur rivalry. Two giants locked in eternal combat across countless films, documentaries, and toy boxes. And this rivalry almost certainly played out in real life. Triceratops and T-Rex didn't just live in the same period, they shared the same neighborhood. Both roamed what is now Montana during the late Cretaceous. But how would the fight actually go? Triceratops was no passive herbivore. It weighed up to 12 tons and carried 3 formidable horns. The 2 brow horns alone could reach over 1 meter in length. Fossil evidence backs this up. T-Rex bones have been found with Triceratops horn puncture marks, and Triceratops skulls have been found with healed T-Rex bite marks, meaning some individuals survived the encounter. Neither animal was guaranteed victory. A charging Triceratops could gut T-Rex before it ever landed a bite. But T-Rex was faster, smarter, and could target the unarmored flanks and hindquarters. It likely ambushed rather than confronted head-on. This wasn't just a movie fantasy. It was a real prehistoric arms race. Verdict: one of the most evenly matched battles in natural history. T-Rex versus Spinosaurus. One movie scene broke the internet before the internet was ready for it. T-Rex snapped like a twig by Spinosaurus in Jurassic Park 3. The debate has never died down, but it doesn't matter, because this battle could not happen. T-Rex lived in North America at the end of the Cretaceous. Spinosaurus lived in North Africa during the mid-Cretaceous, roughly 100 to 94 million years ago. That's a gap of over 30 million years and an entire ocean between them. But what if they had met? That would depend on the battlefield arena. On land, this is T-Rex's arena. Spinosaurus was longer, reaching at least 14 meters, probably 2 meters longer than T-Rex, but despite its length, it was lightly built, weighing a comparable 6 to 7 tons to T-Rex's 8 to 9 tons. Longer, yes, but not heavier. And Spinosaurus was not built for brawling. Its skull was long and narrow, its teeth conical and designed for gripping fish, not absorbing the impact of a bone-crushing fight. Its hind legs were relatively weak compared to T-Rex's. On dry land, T-Rex is faster, more powerful in close combat, and built from the ground up as an apex terrestrial predator. Spinosaurus would be fighting completely out of its comfort zone. On land, T-Rex wins. In water, the equation flips entirely. Spinosaurus was a semi-aquatic predator. Recent fossil evidence shows it was built for life in and around water, with dense bones for buoyancy control, paddle-like feet, and nostrils positioned high on its skull. In a river or swamp, Spinosaurus is agile, confident, and in complete control. T-Rex, by contrast, would be sluggish, off-balance, and dangerously exposed. Those powerful legs that dominate on land become a liability in deep water. Spinosaurus could strike, retreat, and wear T-Rex down before it ever landed a decisive blow. In water, with the right strategy, Spinosaurus might win. Verdict: it all depends on who picks the battlefield. T-Rex versus Giganotosaurus. Jurassic World Dominion tried something different. Its prologue is set in actual prehistoric times, complete with a partially feathered T-Rex. But then Giganotosaurus walks in, and the science walks out. This battle could not happen. Giganotosaurus lived in South America during the mid-Cretaceous, roughly 98 million years ago. That's a gap of around 30 million years and an entire continent between them. They never crossed paths. But what if they had met? Giganotosaurus had the size advantage, potentially reaching up to 13 meters. Its strategy was to slash and wear down prey with repeated gashing wounds, rather than deliver a single killing blow. But T-Rex had the tools to finish a fight fast: a significantly larger brain, sharper binocular vision, and the most powerful bite force of any land predator ever recorded. Where Giganotosaurus needed time and attrition, T-Rex needed one good bite. In a direct confrontation, Giganotosaurus might land the first blow, but T-Rex would likely land the last. Verdict: Giganotosaurus starts it, T-Rex ends it. T-Rex versus Ankylosaurus. This battle is not only plausible, it's actually supported by science. In Walking with Dinosaurs, we see a mother Tyrannosaurus Rex confronting an Ankylosaurus while trying to protect her young. The fight ends badly for the T-Rex, which is forced to retreat from the heavily armored herbivore. This scenario is very believable. Both dinosaurs lived during the late Cretaceous in North America, and fossil evidence suggests they shared the same ecosystems. Ankylosaurus was essentially a living tank, covered in thick osteoderms and equipped with a massive bone club at the end of its tail capable of shattering bone. A single well-placed strike could easily break a predator's leg. Because of this, paleontologists believe T-Rex likely avoided attacking healthy adult Ankylosaurus whenever possible. Like modern predators, it probably preferred safer prey or vulnerable individuals. Verdict: T-Rex might not go for it. T-Rex versus Quetzalcoatlus. In Prehistoric Planet Season 2, we see an intense scene where two giant Quetzalcoatlus pterosaurs confront a Tyrannosaurus Rex over a massive carcass. Surprisingly, the T-Rex ends up losing the confrontation, forced away by the enormous flying reptiles. While it may sound dramatic, the scenario itself is scientifically possible. Both Tyrannosaurus Rex and Quetzalcoatlus lived during the late Cretaceous period and inhabited ecosystems in North America, including regions similar to the famous Hell Creek Formation in Montana. Quetzalcoatlus was one of the largest flying animals in history, with a wingspan comparable to a small airplane. Although it likely hunted small animals and scavenged carrion, its sheer size and intimidating presence could have allowed it to compete with terrestrial predators over carcasses. A full combat scenario is unlikely, but scavenger disputes are common in nature. Verdict: a confrontation over food could definitely have occurred. T-Rex versus Mosasaurus. A real fight between Tyrannosaurus Rex and Mosasaurus was essentially impossible. They lived in different environments. T-Rex was a land predator, while Mosasaurus ruled the oceans and was not a dinosaur, but a marine reptile. Although both lived during the late Cretaceous, they were not direct neighbors. For such an encounter to occur, a T-Rex would need to be at the water's edge and a Mosasaurus in unusually shallow water simultaneously. Both atypical situations. Even if that overlap happened, a realistically sized Mosasaurus would likely lack the leverage in shallow water to seize and drag an adult T-Rex, whose mass and footing would make it extremely hard to pull in. Even with theories suggesting Mosasaurus may have entered rivers, cinematic scenes like Jurassic World exaggerate its size and power. Verdict: not happening. T-Rex versus Velociraptors. A real fight between Tyrannosaurus Rex and real Velociraptor would not be a fair battle. An adult T-Rex would easily kill a Velociraptor, which was only about 2 meters long and weighed less than 20 kilograms. They also never coexisted. T-Rex lived in North America, Velociraptor in Asia. The raptors seen in Jurassic Park are based on Deinonychus, a larger relative. Real velociraptors were feathered and posed little threat to a titan like T-Rex. Even in numbers, real velociraptors would stand little chance against an adult T-Rex. The size gap alone is decisive. Turkey-sized animals simply cannot deliver enough force to meaningfully injure such a huge predator, regardless of how many are attacking. Pack hunting in dromaeosaurids is also debated, with evidence suggesting they were likely more solitary than cinematic portrayals suggest, making the coordinated assault scenario doubly questionable. Verdict: velociraptors would not stand a chance. These are some of the most iconic Tyrannosaurus Rex battles ever imagined. Shall we cover any other legendary T-Rex battles?